Happy Hump Day, everyone. Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. What is good? Hope all is well. Do me a favor, please smash that like button, that little thumbs up you see. Hit that immediately if you don't mind. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. You'll get notifications whenever we go live. Also, for you podcasters who like Apple Podcasts, subscribe there as well. Really helps us out. Also, we're going to be talking about some nuggets, man, from the Buckeye Scoop Board defensive game plan. Really getting ready for that team up north, and we're going to discuss it amongst some other things as well. Also, remember when you send those wonderful super chats, helps to go towards the Pay It Forward, which is our military and first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us. Nevada Buck, what's up, brother? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How was basketball practice yesterday, B? You said first day of basketball practice for the kids, and do you have them running the picket fence and the box and one triangle two and matching up like a full court press in terms of getting them out there, or was it just kind of mayhem? Which one?
Well, it was the second practice. Second
Okay. Oh,
practice.
okay. Second practice. Okay.
But we're still, I mean, listen, man, these are 9-year-olds, 8 and 9-year-olds, and they want to dribble the ball and just and shoot. And I'm just like, listen, we gotta get the fundamentals down. So we worked on layup lines, chest passes, and what else? We did knockout, a game for them to kind of hustle and get the ball up to the rim quick. We sprints, just basic stuff. And then we implemented a little simple play, where we got guys cutting to the hole. We're trying to work some things in, man, and trying to be patient because some kids are a little more aware of the game, some aren't. So we really have to teach. And so, that's what we're here for. But it was cool. They're coming along, man. Little by little, they're coming along.
Well, I see you like a Coach Norman Dale. You're practicing without the basketball and just like the stern disciplinarian there, the ex-Navy guy out there as the disciplinarian with the kids and stuff. So take it easy on them. Make sure they're saluting you before every game and everything else like that. And you don't have to send the other kids to play down at East Hickory or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, Tyler, what are you doing? You're killing me out here. If you're going to play on my team, and I look over the parent like, little Tyler, it's okay. Just don't do it again. No, it's cool. It's great. It's a process, but they're definitely learning little by little. So it was good.
Awesome. Well, the Buckeyes are learning. The Buckeyes are
Yes.
learning that, and the Buckeyes are in. I'd say they're kind of in practice now for Michigan. And I know that sounds disrespectful to Rutgers, and I know that we shouldn't be overlooking Rutgers coming into the game, but at the risk of jinxing everything and like that, I think we can do it. I think we can overlook Rutgers. Have you ever seen anything like this where we're able to kind of just look past teams, kind of like we've done UCLA, kind of like we've done Rutgers? Like, is there any fear in your mind that we're going to overlook these teams to the point where we could have a misstep and fall out of?
No. And it's crazy. First of all, no, I can't remember any season like this where we're able to do that. And then two, I'm not worried, as I've said before, and we lost Nevada. We'll get him back in a second. As I've said before, the leadership on this team is so great. Nevada, we got you back, right?
Yeah, I am back. I'm back
Yeah.
and listening.
Yep. So I was saying, one, I can't ever remember a season like this because I don't think it exists. Two, I'm not worried about overlooking anyone because of the leadership on this team, the coaches and the players. I've said it so many times. Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles are not going to let this happen. Carson Hensman is not going to let, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. And I know our competitors, our rivals, our haters are fuming and seething. And just, they're going to keep lobbing insults at us. We don't play anybody. We haven't been tested. It's not fair. Wham. But listen, it's coming. We got to go up to Ann Arbor, most likely a Big Ten title game and the playoffs. So stop crying. You will get to see if this team is real or not, period.
Well, and it's funny on the schedule just for a second, but like, do you know Texas has got 3 wins over top 10 teams? Texas, like, the much maligned Texas, they talk about
Yeah, yes, they
how
do.
bad Texas is, and oh, Texas sucks, and that, oh,
Right.
they got wins over three top 10 teams. So Texas is not bad, by any stretch of the imagination. But hey, look, all eyes are up on the game coming up in Ann Arbor. Ohio State obviously kind of getting ready for that, and one of the questions that I've been having is, what are they going to do? What's the game plan look like? For Michigan, what does the game plan look like on offense? What does the game plan look like on defense? And helping technician came in today with some stuff talking about what they're planning to do for the Michigan game. And he was one of the things that really stood out to me about the Nugget was he was talking about how Ohio State's really, how Michigan doesn't do a very good job of disguising what they're going to be doing,
Yeah.
and that you could basically sell out to stop the run against them and just dare Underwood to try to pass against you. And as I'm thinking about that, I know people get nervous whenever they talk about Ohio State fans believe that nobody should ever be in man-to-man coverage, and that everybody should have like safeties over the top of everybody, and then a safety behind that guy to do the thing. But you also want eight guys in the box to stop the run. So Ohio State
Right.
fans want to play with about 15, 16 players on the field at a time. Um, but if I'm playing Michigan, that's exactly what I do. I mean, I dare Underwood to beat you. I mean, maybe he gets you one time for a pass, and maybe a guy breaks the thing and goes. But I'll take my chances with that. I'll take my chances with our defensive secondary against their wide receivers. I'll take it with our pass rush against Underwood. And because frankly, every time he goes back to pass and puts the ball up in the air, I feel like it's a fit. I feel like he's like the JJ. If JJ McCarthy was playing for Michigan 2020, that's how I kind of feel like. I feel like Underwood will throw it to the guys in the other jerseys. And if
Yeah.
you put enough pressure on him, I mean, the meat and potatoes of Michigan this year seems to have been, and I've watched every game. They try to run it up the middle and break one or two or three long runs every game to try to get the games that they do that, they win, and the games that they don't, they really struggle. And I just think that really plays to the strength of Ohio State, because I think the strength of Ohio State is right down the middle. And you talk about defense right down the middle. Think about where our best players are. Caden McDonald, right down the middle.
Yep.
Arvell Reese, right down the middle. Caleb Downs, right down. You know what I'm saying? Like you're running into three first round picks going right up the middle, and you know. So let's take that away and let's put the ball in Underwood's hands and let Underwood throw it, and let's let the chips fall where they may, because I think he'll be inaccurate at best, and at worst he'll turn the ball over, and either one of those is a good scenario for the OSU defense.
I definitely agree. And I recall Oklahoma, I mean, they really crowded the line defensively. I mean, they really stepped up to the line and took away not only the gaps, but it was hard for the offensive line to know who they were blocking, who the reads, and it seemed to really work. And yeah, they did. They said, go ahead and throw downfield, see what you can do. And we saw what happened. So absolutely. Yeah, I would dare Underwood to try to throw downfield. Marsh is a good freshman, but come on, this is our secondary. And the McCulley kid has some height on him. Give me Iggy. Like, listen, please throw the ball. But again, please run the ball. Like, honestly, my biggest excitement. Yes, I want to see Sand go up in the big blouse and slice him up. My biggest excitement is this Patricia defense going against their offense. That's what I can't wait to see. So yes, I think Caleb Downs, and that's another part of the nugget from HT, is going to show up huge like he did in the playoffs last year, and in the nickel role. I mean, in the Tennessee game, how he was deployed as that de facto hybrid Mike linebacker that was able to drop in coverage. I mean, Caleb Downs and Arvell Reese is going to make this game hell for them offensively. And so, I mean, listen, Michigan's going to try to pull out some trick plays, right, Nevada? They're going to try to pull out that lame flea flicker they love to play. We're going to be ready for all that, man. All right. So I cannot wait. And I love that we are already scheming up and getting ready for that game, as we should be. We're going to beat Rutgers. I don't care if we beat them 27-6 or 24-9. I don't care. Get out of there with a win, healthy, and get ready for the game. Period.
Well, it's funny you bring up trick plays because I think one of the things that Ohio State's been toying with in the Michigan game is just leaving their defense on the field on in punt situations, no matter what the
Mm,
situation is. And frankly, I'm supportive of that. Like I don't even know why you have a punt return team anymore. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
'Cause when's the last time we returned a punt? You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't happen very often. I mean, I know
yeah,
Caleb did it last year against Indiana and stuff, but it seems like the majority of punts are just like fair catches, or you get 5 yards and you feel like that's a win as long as you don't fumble it.
right,
And you know, I would be concerned about Michigan, pulling out. So I would just play the defense. Why not just play your play 10 guys, and instead of Jalen McClain, you have Brandon Innes back to catch the punt and just call it good. And that way you stop all the trickeration. You
yeah,
stop all that because we've been burned by a fake punt, this year, with a guy where we all
yeah,
bailed out and the guy ran for 30 yards or whatever. I just worry anytime we get the punt return team out there that you're either going to get a penalty or you're going to get, against a team like Michigan who's desperate, who's going to be pulling out all the stops, you'll get a fake. And Ohio State's been playing, but they've been doing it more and more this year, just leaving the defense out there. And you've seen that where they'll rush like Caden Curry and Edric Houston, those guys, and kind of do. And that's the one where Caden got the block, on the punt, with
yeah.
blocked it off the head. But I mean, I don't think you need to put a punt return team out there because I would be concerned about Michigan doing that because I think they feel like, I they'll play the game like they have nothing to lose because they really don't have anything to lose.
Right.
They're for them, their season's pretty much over. Either way, they go out there. Sharon Moore will try to use all 4 downs, try to do everything that he can possibly do to do it. And I think for Ohio State, it's got to be right. That's kind of the mindset that Ryan Day's got to approach this game with, is that they're going to be playing, that team you're playing against is going to be playing a desperate, pull out all the stops game, use all 4 down games, go to trickeration game, and you've got to anticipate that and not be surprised by anything that they do because you know what's coming. So don't be shocked when it happens.
Yeah, they're gonna be extra goofy. They're probably gonna, send 7 guys out to the wide, hash, or something crazy. They're gonna try it all. So yeah, I like that. Like to me, it's more risky to return a punt anyway. Just let it bounce or whatever, and make sure they don't pull nothing stupid. I definitely agree with that. So regarding Michigan, I actually had a few things I wanted to go over in relation to this. Um, to get your thoughts and get the chat's thoughts about it. So first of all, the first thing is, do y'all think Nevada? Do y'all think the Maryland game? Michigan has to travel to Maryland this Saturday. Is that a trap game? And I think it's a trap game. I think they could lose the game or just flat out be another dogfight like it was against Northwestern.
Well, I mean, you look at the game, and I know Las Vegas is not the end all be all or whatever it is, but Las Vegas is looking at the game like Michigan's a 13-point favorite in the game. And just as a point of comparison, they've got Ohio State as a 12.5-point favorite at Michigan the next
Mm,
week. So the chances of Michigan losing to at Maryland, they've got the same chances of Michigan beating Ohio State the next week. You know what I'm saying? So, for all you fans that are like, well, of course we could lose to Michigan, of course. Well, then you should be feeling this exact same way about Maryland's ability to beat Michigan this week. I think it's absolutely a trap game. I say that just because Michigan's been dreadful on the road. And Maryland's one of those funky teams that every now and then is able to rise up and play good football. And
yeah,
I think they'll keep the game close. Do I think they'll win? Kind of like last week against Northwestern. I said the same thing about Northwestern. I said Northwestern could absolutely beat Michigan, and people laughed at me. Oh, Nevada, Northwestern's not going to beat Michigan, and it came down to a last-second field goal. They darn near beat Michigan.
yeah.
So I'll say the same thing about Maryland. Do I think they're going to win the game? No. Do I think they'll cover? Yeah, I do, because Michigan has been terrible on the road. They're bullies, and bullies don't, they're front runners, and they don't play well when they face any type of adversity whatsoever. And I think Maryland's going to give them a football game, and we'll see. I mean, maybe Michigan will go in there and smash them, but I really think that game's going to be then closer than a lot of people think.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be another dogfight, close, possible loss. If Marshall's not playing, I know I've seen stuff from Michigan fans talking about we're so deep at running back, We're fine. Okay. I mean, we'll see. I don't know about that. But yes, Maryland is very funky, very trappy. I mean, they're going to be up for that game. If under and they have 5 turnovers last time and they still won. I don't know. I don't know. But
Well,
yeah, I
no,
think it's
let's. I want to ask you about Marshall. Now, Marshall, I've heard
okay.
Marshall described by some of our fans, and I'm trying to decide what is the most apt comparison to Marshall. Like, is Marshall like mostly like a combination of the best attributes of Barry Sanders, Emmett Smith, and Walter Payton, or is it really like Marcus Dupree, Herschel Walker, and let me pick and Adrian Peterson? Which one of those is the combination that makes it the best, that makes the Mega Marshall, in your opinion?
Combination A. I'm gonna go with
Combination,
combination A.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how Ohio State fans are just like in awe of these guys. Like, because I
Right.
watched, like I said, I watched every game, and I'm like, I think he's just like the definition of mediocre. I think
Yeah,
he's
he
fine.
is.
He's fine, fine. But I mean, like, oh, Marshall's he's better than any back on our team. I'm like, really? You would take
No.
Marshall? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a very popular take. That Marshall
What?
is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That Haynes is way better. That Marshall is way better. That their third running back, the walking back, is better than anybody that we. And like that's a take from Ohio State fans. And
It's
I'm just
crazy.
some Ohio State fans have been broken by this whole cheating scandal. I think it's really kind of affected their perception of the thing. But yeah, Marshall's kind of morphed into this mega Marshall, and I think people are frightened that he's going to come out in the field and just run through the Buckeyes like Biaka Baduka did
No.
25 years ago. No.
Give me Bo Jackson over Marshall, clearly. Shoot, I might even take um why am I forgetting the one who's rotating with Bo West, Isaiah West.
Yeah.
I think he has a higher ceiling than Marshall. Marshall runs hard. He's a physical back who runs hard, but that's about it. I don't see anything special about him. Haynes is better. I think, like I said before, Haynes is a really good back, but I wouldn't compare him to any of our really good elite backs. He's a good back, but I'm just like, oh man, Haynes is just, oh, he's incredible. No, he's a really good back, but I don't think he's like Ezekiel Elliott and like that level, in my
Well,
opinion.
he's also in the hospital right now or whatever it is. So
Oh
he
yeah,
ain't playing. So like we might as well be talking about Archie Griffin or Ezekiel Elliott or anybody else who ain't playing the game either. But yeah, no, I
right,
thought Justice
right,
Haynes was a really good player. But I watched Marshall play, and I'm just like, yeah. So when he got hurt, a lot of people were excited. I didn't really care because I thought it was like, well, they'll bring in another mediocre running back and he'll do the
right.
thing. But when your plays consist of run the ball up the middle or zone read by Underwood, and he rolls out and tries to throw a little flare to the tight end. I mean, that's literally their playbook.
Yes,
Like
it's
we
it's
that's it.
it's the Tecmo Bowl shirt I wear with the 4 plays like that I
Huh.
usually wear. I mean, like seriously, that's what they do. And so, of course, they're going to try to switch some things up. It's not going to work, but they're going to try. So, get ready for that. But I had something else I wanted to bring out with the Michigan stuff. So on the scoop board, we've had some great discussion about what's more important, beating Michigan or winning a natty. So let's talk about that. Chat, weigh in. If you want to put a super chat through, we can read it. But what say y'all? Because somebody on the board was saying, well, Ryan Day said the 3 goals are beat Michigan, Big Ten title, and Natty. Now, I took it as the order and not the importance. Ryan Day has never said the most important thing was beating Michigan. He's never said that. He just named those 3, and that's a timeline because typically that's the order of things. But Nevada, let's speak on that. What's your thoughts on that? What's more important, beating the team up north or winning a natty?
Well, look, there's just first of all, every team in the world has the same 3 goals. They do. Win your rivalry game, whoever your rival is, win your conference, win the national champion. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's not unique to Ohio State. It just depends on if it's Stanford, it's Cal. If it's Washington, it's Washington State. If it's Oregon, it's Oregon State. If it's Mississippi, it's Mississippi State. If it's Purdue, it's Indiana. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
everybody wants to beat their rival. So like this isn't something unique to Ohio State in terms of doing it. Secondly, the idea, I look back on that too. We talked about the 2006 game, the 1 versus 2, the game of the century at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that they're ever going to have any celebrations for the 2006 team because they beat Michigan and they won the Big Ten championship?
Nope.
I can tell you, nope. They're not going to have any parades or get-togethers or whatever it's going to be. Those guys are all going to have to come back and buy tickets like the rest of us to go to the games. Um, but the 2015 team, 2024 team, no, no, those guys won national championships. So they, they don't, it's kind of a preposterous thing. And I think that there's a segment of the fans that are putting way too much importance on the Michigan game. And it to me, it's like injecting, it's like turning your power over to your most hated enemy. Like, why would you want to increase the importance of this game? Because believe me, Michigan wants to make it all about that game. They don't want
Yeah.
to make it about the season. They don't want to make it about the national championship. I mean, the Michigan fans' position on last year was, oh, it's a success because we beat Ohio State. Now, I would agree with the premise that if you're not going to win the national championship, you better have beaten Michigan. Otherwise, the season's a failure. I agree with that. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
But I am not there at all in terms of, turning over all the power to Michigan in terms of tournament. And frankly, Michigan, I'll meld it to the topic we had last night about Michigan leaving the Big Ten and, threatening to leave and everything like that. If they did, I wouldn't schedule them. I wouldn't schedule them. I wouldn't. I mean, why would you want to, if they went to an independent schedule and they're doing their own thing, why would you want to support their schedule? Why would you want to, enrich their coffers by lending your brand to them? Let them slide into, mediocrity if they were to do that.
Yeah.
I think that there's way too much importance in the game. I think the game, if you're going to play the game, play it like Oklahoma and Texas. Play it in the fourth week of the season or the fifth week of the season or whatever it is. Move it from the end of the season, and you can still keep the importance, of the rivalry. But I think for Ohio State, this game does way more for Michigan than it does for Ohio State, and for fans that feel like that game, that one singular event is a bigger litmus test of how successful the season was than this entire season. I feel sorry for you because I think you're missing it. And that is and let me respond to one other thing because I've heard people, well, Nevada, that's because you didn't grow up in Ohio, or Nevada, and I'm like, no, dude, that's like I hate those takes. I hate those, like,
Yeah.
well, you like somehow I don't understand the rivalry. My mom was Woody's secretary. I get the rivalry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I get the rivalry's part of who I am. I understand it. I don't want to see Michigan fans happy for a single second. That's why I want to win, but not because the game's so darn important. I just hate the fact that they would have one moment of happiness. And that's why I want them to lose every game. That's why I'm not in the boat of a lot of fans like, I wish they were 12-0 and we played against them. No,
No.
no, I wish they would lose every game and that their fans are just wallowing in misery and never have a moment of happiness for the rest of their life. That's what I want. And does that, I mean, I guess my question is, does that make me a bad person, B. Moses?
No.
That's how I view the Michigan rivalry?
Makes you an awesome person, is
Thank you,
what it
B.
does.
Moses. Thank you.
So, yes, we are on par with that. So, real quick, before I respond, I made a meme. Okay. So, this is Thanos. Y'all know this is like a viral meme, and I just made it. And it says, for you podcasters that aren't watching, the meme has a picture of young Gamora. This is a Thanos Marvel's Avengers meme. The first block says, is young Gamora. It says, I see you won the 2024 Natty. What did it cost you? Talking to Thanos. Thanos responds, a ridiculous and fluky loss to the team up north. She then responds with, was it worth it? And then Thanos, all smiles with trophies behind him, says, absolutely. Hashtag natty over everything. So I wanted to share that to set the tone. So, and I said this on the scoop board earlier, is that being from Columbus, Ohio, I told y'all this before, we got an inordinate amount of team up north fans here. They're obnoxious. For the 20 years that we were beating them, they eventually started to slither away into their holes and not be as, comfortable wearing their gear. Now they're out and about with their license plates and flags and t-shirts and hoodies, and it just disgusts me. So I want to beat them. And so last year was disgusting for all the obvious reasons. So on the board, I basically said this. Two things can be true. We can hate them and want to just destroy them every time we play them, but also acknowledge that nothing is more important than a natty. Nothing. It's natty over everything. We've already given you the logic. We've given you the facts. Nevada brought it up. 2016 was awesome. 1 versus 2. Great game. They're not going to be invited back because they did not win a natty. That right there is the proof. Okay? It doesn't mean the Michigan game is not important. It's important to me. It's very important. We want to beat them every year we play them. However, this notion that it's more important than winning a national title is insane to me. And so I know some old schoolers are stuck in their ways because the thing is, in their brains, they've always had to win the Michigan game to even have a chance at the natty. So they just connect that and say, well, it's more important because you can't do it without the Michigan game. But that's not the case anymore. So yes, we can walk and chew gum, hate Michigan, want to beat them and destroy them, but also acknowledge that the highest goal is national championships. So that's my response. It's quite simple. I don't think it really gets any more simpler than that, Nevada. So I think you're trying to come off mute. Nevada, try and hit the mute button like this. Oh, we lost him. We're going to get him back. He'll pop back in a second. But I had one more thing, and I see the super chats coming in. But I had one more thing. Here it is. Nevada.
That mute button was not responding, dude. I was pounding the mute button. I was pounding it. It was like
see you.
It was like James Kirk on the Kobayashi Maru when he's like pushing the buttons on the impossible situation, surrounded by the Vulcans firing at him. I couldn't get the thing to come on, man. I couldn't get the thing to come on.
I figured something was malfunctioning.
It was horrible. It was
with
absolutely
the mute
horrible.
button. So did you? I'm sure you got to hear most of my spiel.
I heard the whole spiel. I was trying to respond to it, but I
Okay.
think I've got like Cheetle or some of that cheese from Cheetos, the stuff on my fingers, and I don't think it's allowing me to hit the mute button on the thing. So I need like a wipey or something. I actually was just reading a draft thing, and it was talking about how Fernando Mendoza is going to be the first pick in the draft, and the second pick in the draft is going to be Dante Moore from Oregon. Dante Moore. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Okay, I'm going to give you my draft analysis of Dante Moore. Okay, he sucks. Dante Moore sucks. So, like, I can't believe that people are seriously talking about him being the second pick. I mean, Fernando Mendoza as the number 1 pick in the draft is like it. I see. Look, I think teams overvalue. They overvalue the quarterback position to a degree that they'll reach on guys like that instead of going out and just getting veterans in the off the waiver. Go out and get Sam Darnold. Go out and get Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can get guys off the waiver wire that don't have to cost you all your draft capital, all your money, and you're taking a chance. Dante Moore. Have you watched Dante Moore play this year?
I have. He's fine. He's okay. He's a fine, solid college QB. I don't see the projection to the NFL for the number 2 pick, let alone first round. I'm not going to act like he's just awful. He's fine. He's made some good throws.
Awful relative to a number 2 pick in the draft.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2 is crazy. Number 2 pick is crazy. Yes.
I mean, holy guacamole! Number 2 pick in the draft. That reminds me when the 49ers traded up the 3 picks to who did they take? What was his name? Remember San Francisco picked the guy with
went to a small school, didn't he?
Oh yeah, I'm just
Jay. Is it start with Jay?
I'm having I can't believe I'm not.
I'm gonna Google
come on, chat, help us out. Who was the guy that they traded 3 first-round picks for, and he flamed out spectacularly well? What was his name?
Because they could have took Justin Fields and they didn't.
Yeah.
What's his name? I'm trying to Google it now. What year was that? That was what? That was 3? No.
That would have been 2022. No,
2021.
I think it's 20 or 2021.
Yeah, let me see. Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
That's it.
But I mean, like, that's why I feel like that's who he is. I mean, he's a nice little quarterback, but these teams just get enamored, and I was looking at that, and I just couldn't believe that was a real draft. I mean, they've got Arvell going at 6, I believe it is. They've got Caleb at 9. They've got
Yeah.
Carnell going at like 19, and then they've got Caden McDonald going at like 28. And I think, you know what? I think it's about right. I think 4 more Buckeyes in the first round after 14 draft picks last year just shows you how ridiculously talented this roster is. It's crazy. And the two
Yeah.
best players in the 2026 draft, the number 1 and number 2 pick, are going to be Julian Sand and JJ Smith. That's going to be the number 1 and
Now
2.
that would be whoo, hoo,
That,
hoo.
that's what's going to happen. I
You
mean,
talk about recruiting and just, oh my goodness,
yeah.
that's just insane. But yes, I mean, barring something crazy, that should happen. Now you mentioned Mendoza. Here's a good segue to my other Michigan comment, and I see the super chat starting to pop up. So shout out to Funky Buck. In a thread, he was saying, he was re-emphasizing the Heisman is going to come down to how Sand plays in Ann Arbor and the head-to-head with Mendoza in Indianapolis. First of all, do y'all agree with that? And then, second of all, do you believe that all this Mendoza talk, as far as the Heisman and even a high pick, will kind of go away when Sand officially accomplishes what we feel he's going to accomplish? What's y'all's thoughts on that, Nevada? Do you agree with that? Is it that simple? And what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I really do think it is that simple. I think for saying it's a 2-game season in terms of those awards. If he
Yeah,
plays the way he's played all year up at Ann Arbor and then in Indianapolis in the Big Ten championship game, he's going to win the Heisman. Yeah, I mean, it's just I think it's going to be really simple. And frankly, if Fernando Mendoza comes into Indianapolis and balls out on our defense and outplays Julian Sane and whatever happens, then you know what? He should win the Heisman.
yeah,
I always think you get what you deserve. And so, like, what could be more fair than the two Heisman favorites playing off against each other in the Heisman Bowl there in the Big Ten championship game? And like I said, Mendoza, that's a big ask to ask him to go up against our defense. And if he can do it, I will just tip my hat to him. Because that'll be a fun game to watch. Because really, we've talked about it before. Not a lot of pressure in that game. What you're playing for seeding. I'm not even
right.
sure what seed's better. You can't tell me right now. Nobody can tell me if it's better to be the 1 seed or the 3 seed or the 4 seed or the 5. Nobody knows. So I think it's kind of a crapshoot. So that game really just comes down to Julian Sane versus Fernando Mendoza. And what a great treat that'll be to watch. And
Yeah.
on an indoor track, 70 degrees, no need for the B Moses Doppler. I'm loving our chances.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it's pretty much that simple. I mean, it has to be. I can't understand why it wouldn't be. And with that said, real quick before we get to super chats, I like this comment from Terry Slusher. Mendoza's Heisman moment was a great catch, not a great throw. I agree. And I'm not taking anything away from Mendoza getting the ball out. He did a good job of giving his receiver a chance. But I mean, you talk about great throws. I think about CJ Stroud to the back of the end zone in the Rose Bowl to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Or Justin Fields, a bomb to Olave against Clemson with pressure around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just, I'm looking forward to, let's dispatch Rutgers, get to this game up in Ann Arbor, into this Big Ten title game. I can't wait. I can't wait, Nevada, just to see our guys step up and show and prove. All the haters, all the doubters, all the naysayers. And now what? We're at the Big Blouse, and then Indiana. Let's do it. So yeah,
Yeah, no, and it's gonna be look, the whole thing about the Heisman moment stuff is just such garbage. I know people kind of get locked into that, and unless you're Doug Flutie, and it's I mean, Doug Flutie already had a great case for the Heisman, and then you
yeah,
have that thing there on Thanksgiving or whatever the day that was, and you throw the miracle pass and stuff like. I mean, that was more of a play than the Mendoza just tossed it up in the air. And like I said, it's going to come down to the head to head. If Mendoza comes out and throws for 4 touchdowns and 400 yards against our defense and they beat us, he should be the Heisman. Yeah, just clap and just
take
going
it,
to.
take
But
it.
I don't think that he's going to be able to. Now, maybe he will. Some people have had some success in limited stretches passing against us, and maybe Indiana believes they can do that, and if they do it, like I said, I think that'll be a fun game to watch. And that's a game that Ryan. You talk about let it rip, Tater Chip. Ryan can let it rip that game, man. I mean, you can pass every play as far as I'm concerned, and
Yeah.
that wouldn't be enough for me. Let's get make sure Carnell and JJ are healthy. Get those guys at 100%, and let's go make it happen.
Yeah, I would be absolutely shocked if, and I know you were just throwing numbers out there, but 4 TDs for 400 yards, no way, no way on this defense. But I don't know, just watching Mendoza over the season, I've seen some warts, I've seen some some shakiness, some mid. He's good. Don't get me wrong, y'all. Mendoza is a good quarterback, and I do think he's going to be in the NFL. But I just don't see the accolades some are giving him, and I think he's going to struggle against our defense more often than not. So we can get the super chats unless you want to respond to that.
No, I agree with you. I think Mendoza's a good quarterback. Do I see a first pick overall draft? I think this is another one of those first pick busts for whatever team gets him. Because I just think he's fine, but he's not like Julian Sane is what I want in a first, a quarterback. That's like the number one. That's the guy that I want, not
Yeah.
Fernando Mendoza. I think Fernando's fine, but do I think he's going to be a superstar at the next level, which is really what you're looking for from the first overall pick? I don't see it.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. All right, so let's get to it. Karis, Washington, what's up? Thanks for being a Scoop Boss. Remember, thanks for the 199. So, Karis, for those watching and who don't see the chat, in my opinion, based off of what I was seeing, Karis, his comment, I say natty, represents that. I didn't even see anybody say Michigan. So the question was, what's more important, winning the natty or beating Michigan? We're not saying we don't want to do both. Okay, we want to do both. What's more important? And most in the chat said natty because you're smart people. That's why. And so I agree, Nevada. I mean,
Well,
I expect Cars brings some sensibility. So
yeah, so definitely, it's sensible versus silliness. I just think it's silly, and just the fact that some people hang on to that like it's some sort of like badge of honor to show how much they hate Michigan. Dude, no one hates Michigan more than I do. No one.
or me,
Yeah,
us.
nobody hates Michigan more than that. But I can also see man, Michigan fans want to make this game to be if
Yes.
you don't win this game, it's not the season's not a success. It only comes down to this game. It only comes, and I'm like, no, no, I've got a little bigger picture view than that, and I want to win the game. I want to shut them up. I want to do the thing, but I'll still take a bigger picture view in terms of what's happening. I mean, if JJ Smith's not right, don't play him in the Michigan game. If Julian Sain's not right, don't play him in the Michigan. Play Lincoln, and what I'm saying. Get ready for because you got to get ready for the playoff.
Yeah.
So and none of those examples that I just used are not real examples. So before anybody freaks out,
Right.
I'm
Right.
just I'm just I'm just using an example of if somebody's not healthy, I wouldn't play him against Michigan. I just wouldn't because that's not the end of the season. There's a lot. There are 5 more games after that Michigan game that you got to win, all against top 10 opponents. So don't don't blow it against Michigan because it's like you got to win the game. You don't have to win the game. Just you know play the best you can, and hopefully you're healthy enough to put your best foot forward.
Yeah, it's a whole new world. Whole new world. Will the Thrill, thanks for the 1999. Sell out on the run, make underthrow, beat us, which won't happen. Have to spy him, though, because he can run. On offense, play like you have some footballs. We need playoff day, not prove a point day. What you got on that, Nevada?
I mean, I think Will the Thrill's channeling his inner Nevada, and I could have written that post, and I would not have changed a word. I totally agree with you. Just take care, be responsible, cage rush him. Arvell and those guys, and Caleb's a great spy. He can run that guy down. So can Arvell. So can Sonny, and force him to beat us with his arm. And Ryan, throw the football, Ryan. Throw the football. Throw the
Yeah.
football, then run opportunistically. Don't go the other way. You don't need to win the rushing battle. I don't care if if we run for 1 yard and Michigan runs for 500 yards, but we win the game. That's all that I care about. Just win the game because winning the rushing battle. it's an effect of what happens. It's not the cause. It's not the reason you win the game. It's
Right.
just because the team that's generally ahead runs the ball more at the end because they're ahead and they're milking the clock, and so they get more rushing yards than the team that's behind who's throwing. So don't get those things mistaken for each other.
You play to win the game. A smart philosopher said that one time. It's true. All right, Philip. Polite, thanks for the 5. We all know it's important to win that game, but Natty is 1,000% more important, or 10,000% more important. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Again, we can walk and chew gum. You know, we can have both. I think the beautiful thing is, family. I think we're going to do both this year. We're going to beat them in Ann Arbor, and we're going to be in position to win a natty, if not win another natty. So fret not. We can do both, Nevada.
But B, let me ask you a question. If we were coming off let's go back in the Wayback Machine and we're coming off winning 18 of 20 games, would your opinion on the game, not given the 12 team, the importance of the game in the 12 team playoff, would that change any if we were dominating them, just like we were 5 years ago? Or because that's the other criticism I hear is, oh, you're just saying that because we've lost 4 in a row to them. So now you're saying the game's not that important. And I'm like, no, the football has changed, and that's what made, I mean, a lot of people during that streak were saying the game was that important because we were beating them every year. It wasn't even a rivalry. And now they win a few in the morning, and now they want to make it the most important thing in the world. I just don't understand. I mean, for me, it has nothing to do with recent events. It has nothing to do with the 4-game winning streak for Michigan that I'm trying to diminish the importance of the rivalry.
No.
I'm just recognizing what's happened on the more macro scale in terms of college football. College football has dramatically changed by expanding the playoff. And we as fans have got to change with it. Because I just wanted to ask you, because I've heard that criticism a lot, and I just want to know how you respond to that.
It's just Michigan fan cope. I mean, they're like you said, they're obsessed with trying to make this game. Well, let me rephrase. Let me be more specific. They're obsessed with trying to make the game more important than a natty because that works in their favor. That helps their narrative. Because last year we all said, "Hey, like, okay, yeah, it sucked to lose to you in the way we did, especially. But guess what? We got these shiny trophies and these rings, and this only comes for most teams, never. For some, once a lifetime, and we were able to obtain that. And then, of course, you have this wonderful redemption story and documentaries. And I gave the example, Nevada, of going to the casino and blowing your money early in the day all the way down to a couple of bucks. And then with your last couple of bucks, so your day is going terrible so far. Like you blew all your money and you got your last couple of bucks, you play the slots and you hit the jackpot. And now you go home a rich man. When you look at the day, are you going to focus and just pout over what happened earlier in the day? Or are you going to rejoice over what happened after having your back against the wall? Any sane person is going to rejoice and think about the jackpot. The earlier stuff in the day can be used as a footnote to say, hey, I was down bad, but God, look at God, whatever you want to say. Michigan fans want us to focus on earlier in the day when we were down to our last couple bucks and we were down bad and we were just goofy. And they want us to ignore the bounce back and the triumph of the national title, the highest level of college football. It's ridiculous. It's dumb. And that's what scum fans do. They're not smart. So to answer your question directly, no, it has nothing to do with losing to them recently. It has everything to do with college football changing. Again, I'm going to state this for y'all again. Anybody listening, because again, you have to be able to compartmentalize and nuance things. To me, hear me clearly, the Michigan game is still extremely important when it comes to bragging rights. Bragging rights, we hate them, we discuss them, we want them to lose 50-0, 0-12. But it's not as important to us as far as getting to the natty and winning a natty. That's the most important thing. The importance of it is not as important because of that reason. but the bragging rights is still important to us fans. You can separate those two. It's nuanced, and it's okay to have nuance. Okay, I'm trying to make that clear, Nevada, because even Michigan fans are trying to put words in our mouth and say, "Oh, well, we're trying to act like we don't care about the game because we've been losing," like you said. That's just not the case. We care. We want to beat them, but not more than a natty. Is that
Well,
not
well,
clear?
well. Also, it's like, I mean, think about it this way, okay? For Michigan fans, for an even Michigan fan in their quiet moments, they realize that their chances of winning a natty are pretty slim. What I'm saying?
Yeah,
They've won one disputed natty when they were cheating in like 50 years or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But their chances of winning one game against Ohio State is better. You got a chance, and in one
yeah,
game, you got a shot. So of course, what do they want to latch the most important thing to? The thing that they think that they've got a chance to do once every 50 years, or the thing that they might have a shot to do more often than that. So to me, it's much more obvious why that they want to put all the importance on this game and to do it for Ohio State fans, but just don't take the bait.
yeah, yeah. Not at all. Exactly. They're just desperate. Um, they haven't had an undisputed natty since in 70 something years. They had a half a natty with, I believe, in Nebraska, and then of course this one was tainted with cheating. And so it's just what they do. So anyway. All right. So let's get to the next super chat. Once again, Philip Poliat. Am I saying that right? Polite. I'm probably jacking it up. My bad. Thanks for the 10. What a year. Get to flush the team up north playoff hopes down the toilet on our way to a back-to-back title run. Such a good time to be a Buckeye. Who's got it better than us? I just pictured Harbaugh and his lame self in the car pulling up. Who's got it better than us? I'll say this real quick, Nevada. I was watching a clip. Somebody sent me a clip of Portnoy running his mouth, talking about Ryan Day is going to pee down his pants if it's a close game in the second half, and how he's confident they can win the game. And, and not only that, but that they still have a good chance to make the playoffs. Funky had a post that really showed, he detailed how, like, they're not in a good place. I know they got 2 losses and they think they're a shoe-in if they, beat us in Ann Arbor. But no, that's the first thing. But I like the fact that they're confident. Him, Steve DeAce, and others believe they have a realistic shot. And so that, to me, makes me happy that they feel that way. But also, it just, obviously, I want to beat them. But the hope they have, to me, just makes it even better when I'm looking at Philip's super chat about flushing their hopes down the toilet, Nevada.
Yeah, no, I mean, first of all, we're going to take care of business and smash them. But their only path, frankly, would be if they blew out Ohio State. It would have to be like kind of like when Ohio State blew out Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game, the 59-0 game, and it vaunted them into the 14 playoff.
Yeah.
Michigan would have to, from looking at the thing, Michigan would have to do something like that. If they want a close game, doesn't do it. They'd have to, if they beat the heck out of Ohio State, then they deserve to be in the playoff. Again, I go back to, you get what you deserve. So yeah, that's their only path, and it's going to be sweet. And there's going to be a lot of accounts settled in
Yeah.
2 weeks up in Ann Arbor, and I'm looking for it because the bill's coming due for those guys, and all that talk doesn't matter. We'll settle on the field, and that's the way it should be.
Yep, I agree. I think this will reverse the whammy that they've had on Ryan Day with their cheating, which started with cheating. And I need to get with Justin Spiro again. I was serious about doing the video. I want to do like a short film, a short video that just shows, them getting smashed for 20 years, and then the cheating starting, and then all the everything, and then the redemption of Ohio State and the Natty. I want to do something like that. I might have to hit you up, Justin, because people need to, just like people need to be reminded of how great that run was last year with documentaries like Redemption. People need to be reminded clearly of what they did to cheat, to finally get off the schneid. We did not forget the total domination and the pummeling of the baby seal that was the team up north for 2 decades, and what they did to finally get back in it by cheating. People need to know all the details about that. So I'm gonna work on that. So anyway, Nevada, anything on that? That's it for the super chats.
Well, yeah, Redemption, you said Prime Video, but I was looking on Prime Video and it wasn't on, like, I'm trying to recommend, for people to how to watch it. Is it like some
Yeah.
sub segment of Prime Video? Like you have to do something else? So it's not just if you have a Prime Video subscription, you got to get another subscription.
Yeah, so let me explain. So it's called Wonder Point. I'm sorry, Wonder Project. So yes, it's like they're like in partnership with Prime because I was confused at first too because I have Amazon Prime. So I went to Prime and I saw the redemption and then right below it, you know how you have boxes you can click on? It says see more for Wonder Project. So you click on it and you do have to get a subscription to it, but again, they have a 7-day free trial, y'all. I did the 7-day free trial. So, because I have Prime at this point, I don't see, a reason to keep it. And so it was free to watch, 7-day free trial. Just do that. If you can't find it, just search it. Go to your Prime and search Redemption. It'll come up, click on it. You'll see the Wonder Project and then do the trial.
I like it. I like it. I'll have to check it out. And my wife wants to watch it, and I want to watch it. That maybe our viewing for this evening. Never know.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not. It's 3 parts, so I guess you could technically binge it. It's equivalent to a full. You know how some docs are like an hour and a half, hour 45, 2 hours. It's probably about close to 2 hours total. The first part is like 27 minutes, then like 36 minutes, and then the last one's 45 minutes or something like that. So you might be
Okay.
able to binge all 3 parts tonight.
I have to finish. I'm watching on the Idaho murders. I'm watching the 4 point documentary on that, and that's pretty creepy. So I need something a little bit more uplifting. So I think Redemption is definitely that'll bring me back from 'cause
Oh
that
yeah.
was that whole thing was spooky up there in Idaho, man. That was disturbing. That was super disturbing.
You don't know. You're listen. I haven't watched anything like that in a minute, but when you do, you're right. You have to flush your system of the creepiness and offset
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
so
exactly. Give me the
so
Buckeyes, man. Give me the
yeah, the
Buckeyes.
redemption story will definitely offset. Kick the demons out. So to
Creep,
speak.
creepy
Um,
Michigan fan that's slaughtering people out there, man.
yes, yes, but and I'm doing my rewatch of Stranger Things. Season 5 is about to drop next week, so I'm preparing for that. And you said you have not watched Stranger Things yet, right?
Well, I watched a little bit of it with my kids, but like season one, and it was so weird. I was really having a hard time kind of figuring out what the heck was going on, and
Yeah,
I'm not. I just didn't. I just didn't buy in. I'm not vested like I was in like House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones or The
yeah.
Sopranos or anything like that. So couldn't get there with it.
No, so no forcing, but I do think it's worth spinning the block and just trying it again because yes, it's sci-fi, but it's really good storyline. To me, once it gets going, it's going, and it's just it ramps up and it's just really really good. And because I was skeptical at first, honestly. Stranger Things, I was like, is this kind of kiddish? Like, what is this? I kept hearing about it. Finally watched it. I was like, oh, this is fire. This is actually really good. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, I see Stilly Man, Stranger Things. Woohoo! Can't wait. Yeah, it's really good. But anyway, listen, that's it for tonight. Great show, fun show per usual. Thank you, chat, for joining in with your responses. We are getting a few days closer to the final home game against Rutgers. And then after that, y'all know what it is. And we cannot wait. We'll be here to give you excellent content and to break everything down. So, Nevada, you got any last words before we hop off?
Now, just one day closer to Rutgers game, and I want to see Carnell Tate run out there on the field because it's the last time he's ever going to be in the horseshoe, and I want to see him out there. So get well, Carnell, and get him coming out there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, listen, all right, Buckeye Scoop family, appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.